Now that is a good day for all the SoFi holders out there. If you guys remember, we made a video about SoFi finding a base just yesterday because of their catalyst that came in right here about getting that bank charter. So they're going to be doing pre-IPO access similar to what Robinhood has been doing. SoFi actually already does that as well, except now SoFi can actually be an underwriter as well. So that's a big advantage for SoFi. And yeah, that is looking really good. So it's coming towards breaking 16 and then running towards 18. It's looking pretty healthy. I'm no longer in any sort of SoFi swing trade, but I was day trading it a little bit yesterday. And overall, it's looking pretty good. I think we could probably see move over 16 into the 18s. But there's definitely going to be some really big resistance around that. So I think I'd be taking profits there if I was long and swing trading it and not investing it. And before we talk about the trades I made today, I want to show you guys my stats for the beginning of January. It was just, smooth sailing. It was a really solid month. Usually I don't just make one red trade. I do like at least one red trade a week or something that's a little bit more consistent. But this was like a really nice start to the year last year, and it was one of my better months. Unfortunately, so far in 2022 January, I've been on a red streak, and I haven't really been able to really find my groove, and it's been a little bit stressful. I mean, you could see right out of the gates, I had a $1,400 red day. I made that back, made some smaller wins, then I lost it again. Right now, I'm pretty much at break even. Luckily, today, after what feels like a lifetime, I am green again. Not the biggest green day, but still just enough to kind of put some confidence back in the tank because, I was starting to forget what a green day and honestly what a green trade feels like. Like, the small caps have just been so bad. And I think anyone who's trading small caps right now is like super disappointed in them. I am getting it on my YouTube comments where people are like, it's been months where small caps have been really bad. Is the market ever going to turn around? Yada, yada. Of course it is. Trust me, this is just normal. Sometimes it's a hot month. Sometimes it's a slow month. Unfortunately, it's just been consistently slow months. It will turn around. But till that happens, the name of the game is really just staying alive and not doing anything silly. And again, today, one of my first trades I made was a silly trade, and I lost $400. So what I actually want to focus on today is, where do I go wrong on my trades? Personally, I already have the answers to it. When you're in the trade, in the moment, sometimes you're too tunnel visioned and you make a mistake. In hindsight, everything is always 20/20. It's pretty easy, but I think this is going to be good training for all of us here right now to have a good reminder of what I'm usually looking for. And I have many videos about what I'm usually looking for. I'll tag one of my pre-market checklist videos that we recently came out with. It's definitely a good reminder. And also, if you want to learn more about our trading strategy, just go to tradejournal.co/connect, join the Discord, and then right here you have the foundation video series and the slides and checklist PDF. So that video I tagged goes through the slides and checklist PDF 1 point at a time. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm up 549 on the day. Not like the biggest green day, but trust me, I'm just happy it's a green day. You have no idea. It pretty much makes up for these two last losses. And then, now I just have to work back these losses to get back in the green for my down streak. But at least we broke the red trend. And hopefully tomorrow we continue our new green trend. Let's see what happens. It's hard to say. But let's go to WIMI, and this was a big time mistake on my end. I should have never traded WIMI. I did everything wrong on this ticker besides cutting my losses. And let's just see here what was going on with this ticker. First of all, let's actually go to the daily, and this is a ticker we've traded many times in the past. It's on a big downside trend. It's a pretty ugly ticker. And if we just zoom in here, it is on its second green day, which is okay, and big resistance around 320 or so, and then more resistance at 350 and so on. Media company, 90 million shares outstanding, kind of high, and then 300 million market cap, also kind of on the higher side. Looks like there's some catalysts coming out. So the statistics aren't that bad. The daily chart is pretty nasty though, and there's a lot of resistance to the upside. So those are two critical things. And then on the 5-minute, it's a little bit of a weird ticker for sure. I mean, we have this first dare consolidation, and then I don't know what this is. This is hectic. And this is where I made my big mistake. So this ticker's up on the day, around 15%. I usually don't want to be trading tickers till they're up 40%. Lately, I've been trading a lot more stuff around 20% just because we're not getting tickers over 40%. Sometimes you got to switch your trading strategy a little bit, or else you're just not going to be doing anything, which is also an option. You could just not trade for a few weeks or a few months. That's not really my favorite thing to do because you just never know how long it's going to go on like that. And I would rather adjust a little bit here and there. For me, based on my statistics, that works a little bit better. Although I'm totally not against, taking a few weeks or, a month or so off this year. Now, the real problem I made with WIMI is I have this rule where I don't like ever buying the first pullback. And what did I do? I bought that first red candle pullback. And so I was starting to accumulate, let's see, 347, 343. So that was all in this area, in this green candle, but this was already red candle forming. I have nothing against buying the breakout to the up front side, buying that initial move. Like I said, I don't want to be buying that first pullback because you just don't know if it's ever going to come back. And that was my problem here with this ticker. What I should have done is waited until there was some sort of a base forming here. Who knows how long it would have been? Probably it would have probably looked something like this. And then, start trending up again and then have that breakout, right? And then once we have that first pullback here and there's a base forming, I could re-enter. That's totally fine. But I've noticed the first pullbacks, they're just absolutely wicked and they almost never work for me personally. And I always have big losers. That's where I make a lot of time a really big quick loser right out of the gates. And what's crazy about this one is I didn't even use that big a size. So you could see here, I was long, $7,000. That's really not that much. I'm trying to be trading with $20,000 and you can just see that's a really small trade. Maybe a little bit too big for my first size. Plus it's like a C quality setup at best. So in that regard, it was too big size. Overall, it wasn't that big size. Anyway, that was my mistake for WIMI, and luckily I cut my losses quick and I didn't do any FOMO trading or revenge trading on this ticker. I probably would have just lost even more money, but that was my first trade on the day. So just like that, I'm here losing, between like $700, $2,000, $260, $200, and then boom, first trade on the day, I'm down $400. And I'm like, oh, like, is this really just going to be my fifth red day in a row? And I was already kind of getting a little bit down, not too down. I've been trading long enough where I can put my emotions in the back seat. Obviously, sometimes they take the driver's seat, but at this point, I'm just like, that's just a red trade. That's how it goes sometimes. Let's just be patient, wait for something else to come up. Right now, Sofi is still flying. I see it on my second screen, so it's just like, woo. Eventually, DATS and APM pop up. I think APM popped up first, but I was trading these back and forth. So let's go to APM first and see what I did right for once on this ticker. And I'm not gonna lie, I could have done much better on this one as well, but you got to get what you can get. And like I said, I'm green, and honestly, when you're in a red streak, even if you're green $10, it doesn't matter. It's just like it. As long as you're not red, because you just have to like switch, you get that momentum a little bit. And right now the momentum for me personally has been to the downside. So I don't care that it's not so much a big green day. Obviously I would have loved like a $2,000 plus green day, but just anything not red was nice today. So APM also big downside trend ticker. It's having a big bottom bounce, big resistance at 1.6 and $2. It's a biotech. 35 million shares outstanding and 58 million market cap with a catalyst coming out. So boom, many check marks, except the daily trend is disgusting and there's big resistance to the upside, and then maybe at 250 is like, the ceiling on this ticker. So the price action on the daily, ugly. Overall statistics, quite all right. And then let's dive into the 5-minute. You can kind of see a bit more how this ticker performed. It had a kind of this quick spike here to the upside, extended hours, and then sold off. Another quick spike, and this was actually a really good 5-minute bull flag. Look at that bull flag. I mean, that's perfect. Had a breakout here. I started trading the breakout, but I don't, trade this retest here, and I don't get any of the bigger moves to the upside. So that's how I did a little bit wrong. I should have been trading right here. This was a 12% move, and I could have traded this one again. Who knows if I would have, took a scratch or a loss on it, but I don't really care. It technically was still a really good 5-minute setup. It was a pennant pattern though, and I don't usually like pennants so much. So I would have probably been really, really quick to scalp this one, knowing me. And then the market open, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. You can see I just did a small size scalp, and I made 1 cent a share on 1,000 1,000 shares. So that was pretty much a worthless trade. But and now it's flashing. This is just an ugly ticker. But let's look at this one again and see how I went ahead and traded it. And I want you guys to think in your head what I did wrong or right on this ticker. So bull flag right here, it was coming up. There's a breakout, so I took that breakout trade. Very quick to take profits. Was that a good trade or not? I actually ended up buying another share size and then quickly took profits. So that was an okay trade. I think I'm pretty fine with this one. Personally, I don't know, it wasn't great. I did another pullback trade here. This was good, but look at this and think where I made a mistake. I exited at 1.58. So we are crawling up here again. We're not even close to breakout, and I already closed my position. So what I did wrong on this trade is I took profits too quick. We're on a 5-minute breakout. We're on a 1-minute front side as well. Everything is looking good. I should be holding this one a little bit longer, but I'm in a red state of mind. Everything I do is red. I think in the last 4 trading days, I literally had like 10, 15, sometimes red trades in a row. Like nothing was working. So like I'm in that mental state, and that's a bad mental state to be in because this is actually a good setup, but I have no confidence left inside of my tank to really hold this one. So that was a mistake. I could have made a lot of money on this trade. Look how high it went. I had a perfect entry and it went up 12%, and I think I made 1% on it. So I'm not holding the good moves. And that's unfortunate. It has a pullback. I buy again, and look at that. I take profits right away, and it does go up a little bit here. So this time, it was fine to scalp, but still, I scalped way too soon. I could have at least let it run a little bit longer. I would have honestly rather have a little bit of a red trade here, or just close at break even to get that big pop. Seriously. Has consolidation, starts breaking out again. I buy for that breakout. I average into it. But then I take profits again really quickly, and I keep missing these nicer pops to the upside. So my mistake with APM as well as DATS, which you'll see in a second, is just taking profits too quick on a ticker that is actually on a good 5-minute and a good 1-minute setup. And like I said before, a big reason for that is my confidence was very low. I was taking a lot of trades that weren't working out. So by the time a setup actually came up that was looking pretty good, I didn't have any conviction left and confidence left to actually hold it. So that is a big reason, on top of just losing money and energy, why you don't want to trade bad setups, because it messes you up when a good setup comes along. You have to really be patient and have that self-discipline to wait through the bad stuff so you can get the good stuff. And also, half the battle is just not giving back profits. And that's really what I did with WIMI. Is that was a silly setup. I broke a rule and I instantly got punished for it. So I think today, the fact that I'm up 550, I feel like is probably a really good assessment on how I traded today. I don't think I traded very good today. We just actually had some setups that allowed me to trade more and make a little bit more money. As opposed to the last few days where I like the market was all over the place, and me personally, I was all over the place because I was sleep deprived, and I'm starting to finally feel myself come alive again, and it feels amazing because I've been a little bit miserable the last few days in terms of energy levels. And if you're somebody I interviewed in the last few days and you had me on one of my tired days, I do apologize. I've had so many phone calls, and a few of them I was like barely awake. So let's keep going here. DATS. I'm up 60, 80 on this ticker. The best ticker I traded, what feels like in a long time. But you could see the overall price action on this ticker is pretty ugly too. Overall big downtrend, bit of a bottom bounce, big resistance above. It's tough. Software company, 20 million shares outstanding, market cap of 71, and it does have catalysts coming out. So, and actually this catalyst didn't even really feel that good, but this is why I try not to focus so much on the catalyst, because I'll start creating biases towards them and that'll mess up my trading. So I like to see a catalyst, but I don't want to be over fixated on the catalyst. All right, so let's see here what's going on. So this ticker had that nice run up here, and this was actually a really good run up. Look at that. That's like a 55% move. Not too shabby, not great, but in this market, that's pretty nice. Unfortunately, most of this move came when I was no longer trading. I stopped trading usually around 10 o'clock. So I would have had, this little ability here, and that's only a 9% move. So no wonder I wasn't looking at DATS here on the 18th. Then a lot of consolidation, but eventually this ticker pops back up and it has a really good front side right here. Another 20% move before it has consolidation, and then another kind of 14% pop. And I don't know, it wasn't like the nicest roller coaster ticker. Like I said, I usually only want to be trading tickers over 30, 40, ideally, 50, 60%. And this is like a 20% up on the day kind of ticker. So that's to me like, already pushing my boundaries a little bit in a direction I'm not, super stoked about. But let's go to the 1 minute, see how I actually ended up trading this ticker. There's a lot of trades here on this one. And a big point on APM or DATS is exactly what I did on APM, just not hold my winner so much. And you could really, really see that here. So this one has a quick breakout here, 11%, not so much. But then look at this pullback. I mean, this is a nasty pullback. But look at that. It starts holding its highs. So this is when I should have started trading this one. But I don't think I was really looking at DATS yet because of that percent. It was a very small percent winner at the moment, and it's not even popping up on my scanners till I think it's like up 15% or so. So anyway, at this point, I'm not really trading it, although technically the price action is good here. And then I start, trading these moves. Unfortunately, I'm just scalping. I'm not letting these moves come to fruition, which is a little frustrating because 5 minutes good, 1 minute's good. 5 minute, I gotta say, was a little extended though. Eventually, it starts that downtrend, and this is where I get a little cautious. I actually do a very good job cutting my losses and scalping, so that was actually okay. This was a scratch trade, not worth talking about. This was all just kind of messy. Actually, the reason I did this trade, this was kind of good, is because you can see we had a really nice bounce off of 330, and then we were bouncing back up. And I wanted to have this continuation back to VWAP. So this was a ranging trade. And what I did was I had a limit order here. We had a flush. I got filled. It popped back up and I took profits right away. So that was a classic range trade. I'm not trying to look for a full move on that, although it would have worked this time. And then DATS opened. We had a bit of a red to green move. I didn't get my fill here, which was a little bit annoying. And I actually bought this one into the upside. I used very small size to limit my risk. But at the same time, look at that. It goes up, 3 cents and I close my position. I'm not letting anything come to fruition, and that's because my confidence is very low right now. And that was really a big mistake because I could have made a lot more money today. Here's another good example where, this ticker starts popping up, I buy into the breakout, and I instantly take my profits. Obviously very small size. Here's another example, perfect pullback, and I take profits into this move. That was a 2% roughly trade, when in reality, went up another 6% roughly. So this was a total move here of like 7-8%, and I didn't get even half of that, even like a third of that, which is kind of frustrating. So I'm taking my profits too soon, which in a way is fine because of the market we're in. But if we start seeing these decent actions, and if we're on the front side on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, and you could actually feel that DATS specifically more than APM actually was holding its high. So like it really felt like there was a base of buyers, and I really felt that today. And I was like, I got to edge into this trade. And that's a lot of times why I got these really good entries, because I felt the buyers. So my entries today were really good, but my exits were horrendous. If I literally held like 10-20 seconds longer today on pretty much every trade, I probably would have walked away with a $1,500 day doing nothing else, and maybe even a $2,000 day, because a lot of times I would sell and then the big 5% pop would happen. And sometimes I would have like a $10,000+ position size, so 5% pop, we're talking $500-700, and that happened, I don't know, a good handful of times. So you could see how easy it is to start making money once the market heats up and you're trading the good tickers, you're trading the front side. And at least, well, me personally, I'm sticking to my front side strategy. The hard part is just waiting and being patient and siphoning through all the nonsense until that finally happens. And that's why the last 4 days have been so difficult for me, and even today was so difficult for me because it's just been a total waiting game, and in between I've just been blowing my confidence. So yeah, I really hope tomorrow we're gonna get a little bit more action. Even if it's the same amount of action today, I would still be happy. Just like anything that holds its highs, anything that has that first pullback and then starts crawling back up to it again and has another breakout, anything like that just makes me so happy. And I'm going to keep my eyes on it. I'm going to be very careful not to break any rules tomorrow. Fingers crossed. And until tomorrow, guys, enjoy the overall upswing in the markets. I know I am. My swing trades are finally recovering just a little bit, and it just feels so good. I've been down so heavy on my swing trades. So nice to see a little bit of momentum in the right direction for once. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And don't forget to drop a like on the way out. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Consider subscribing and joining the community. Like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.